Alright, what's going on everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, week 2 kicks off tonight with Thursday night football between the Giants and Washington. It should be an interesting matchup. Can't wait to see how that game's going to go down. Not to mention we got a lot of interesting matchups this week. So, we got some predictions to make. But before we get into those predictions, let's see how I fared last week with my predictions. So here they are. Unfortunately, to start off the season, I went 7-9. I thought I would do a lot better than what I, got here, but I couldn't have predicted the chaotic mess that was week 1. How could I have known that the Titans would fail to show up at home? How could I have known that the Packers, and specifically Aaron Rodgers, would play like trash? How could I have known that the Bills would get upset and look that bad? How could I have known that my own team would get embarrassed in the fourth quarter on Monday Night Football against the Raiders? I couldn't have predicted my own team losing. So when my own team loses, I know the predictions weren't going to be great. But it is what it is. 7-9. It's a rough start, but we can recover. My overall goal this season is to be at 500, so we're near that cusp. Let's see if we can do better here in week 2. So, with that being said, let's get into my predictions for week 2. Here they are. For Thursday night football, I'm going to pick Washington. Probably shouldn't do that, but I think Washington is looking to get their first win here, and I think they're going to be able to take on a Giants team that offensively has got to get it together. Now, both these teams are going to struggle offensively here, but I think Washington's defense should be enough to get the job done. Please don't disappoint me. Next, I'm going to take the Steelers versus the Raiders. I like what I saw from the Steelers last week when they upset the Bills. That defense is ferocious, and trust me, unlike our defense, they're not going to be giving up those big plays against Derek Carr. I mean, I would hope they do because I want the Steelers to lose, but I believe the Steelers are going to get the job done, so I'm going to take them. Next, we got the Niners versus the Eagles. This is going to be a much closer matchup than expected. The Eagles did a great job against the Falcons in week 1, and Jalen Hurts is looking to build on that. Meanwhile, the Niners, they also did great against the Lions, but they let them come back in the game. You can't let that happen. Either way, I'm going to take the Niners in this game. I think they're going to be able to take down the Eagles, and maybe much closer than people expected, but the Niners are going to continue to build that momentum from week 1. Next, we got the Browns and the Texans. I'm taking the Browns. I believe the Browns are going to bounce back from that heartbreaking loss in Kansas City. They need to get their first win, and since they'll be at home, they're going to get the job done here against the Texans. Next, I got the Broncos and the Jags. I'm going to take the Broncos in the matchup. I like what I saw from the Broncos in week 1 when they took on the Giants. I expect Bridgewater to continue to build that momentum, and hopefully they'll get the job done here against the Jags. Next, we got the Saints and the Panthers. I'm going to take the Saints. Jameis Winston looked amazing against the Packers. The Saints as a whole looked amazing against the Packers. I think they're going to continue to build that up against the Panthers team that looked solid in week 1, but not great enough to compete with this Saints team. I think it'll be a little bit closer than people expected, but I'm going to take the Saints anyway. Next, we got the Rams and the Colts. I'm going to take the Rams. The Rams looked amazing on Sunday Night Football against the Bears. I expect Matthew Stafford to continue to build that momentum, and I expect this defense to get after Carson Wentz. So I'm going to take the Rams in this matchup. Next, we got the Bills and the Dolphins. It's going to be an interesting AFC East matchup here, but I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills need to be able to respond after the performance they put up at home in week 1. So going on the road here, I expect Josh Allen to bounce back and put up a better performance than he did in week 1. And I expect that whole team to play better down the stretch than they did in week 1. So I'm going to take the Bills here. Next, we got the Patriots against the Jets. Originally, I was going to pick the Patriots, but I think I'm going to have this be my upset for the most part. I'm going to take the Jets at home. Zach Wilson is slowly building something up, and I want to see what he can do. I like what I saw from Mac Jones, and I know he's going to continue to build that up. But Zach Wilson, man, the way he was dodging the pressure and making plays and extending the plays, I think he's going to be able to do that against the Patriots defense. So I'm going to take the Jets. Next, we got the Bengals and the Bears. I liked what I saw week 1 from the Bengals. Meanwhile, Bears, I'm not seeing what they're doing this year. I'm going to take the Bengals. I think Burrow's going to have a nice day against that Bears defense. Even though the Bears defense is supposed to be better than what they displayed, I still think Burrow's going to be able to get the job done and get the Bengals their second win on the season. Next, we got the Falcons versus the Bucks, and I'm not going to waste any time here. The Bucks. The Falcons right now are a train wreck. They're a mess. They better figure something out quick. I'm taking the Bucks. They played a sloppy game to start off the season, but trust me, they're not turning the ball over that many times in this matchup. they're going to get the job done. Next, we got the Vikings going up against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals looked amazing week 1. I'm going to take them here in week 2. They dismantled the Titans. I expect them to be able to ball out against the Vikings secondary. We'll see what they can do there, but the Cardinals should get this job done. Next, we got the Titans versus the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this matchup. Once again, when it comes to Russell Wilson, he starts off the season hot. I don't see him slowing down against a Titans team that struggled, though the Titans do need to bounce back from that week 1 embarrassment. So I expect it to be a much more competitive game here, but I'm still going to take the Seahawks in this matchup. Next, we got the Cowboys versus the Chargers. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I like what I saw from Dak and the boys on Thursday Night Football when they took on the Bucs. I think they're going to try to continue to build on that. The talent's clearly there, and Dak is putting it all together, so I expect them to be able to get the job done and get their first win of the season against the Chargers. Next, we have Sunday Night Football, Chiefs-Ravens. Now, when I do my prediction video, obviously I'm going to be rooting for the Ravens, and I'm going to say what I need to say in order for the Ravens to get the job done. However, I'm not a Ravens fan right now when I'm making these picks. This is completely unbiased, so I have to put my own fan base to the side. When it comes to this matchup, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. The Chiefs are the better team, they're performing better, and Baltimore right now, they're dealing with a lot of issues. Their offensive line can't protect Lamar Jackson. Their defense went out there and gave us 17 points to the Raiders in the fourth quarter. Overall, I believe the defense is going to be fine, but it's just that offensive line. If you can't protect Lamar Jackson, you're not going to get anything done in the passing game. And considering that O-line did not look great, and I don't see how it's going to improve, not to mention they've lost a guy in Tyree Phillips, I just think the Chiefs are going to come out there and just dismantle them. Hopefully that's not the case. Me as a Raven fan, I want us to win, but I would not be surprised if we get blown out again by the Chiefs in our building just like last year. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in this matchup. And last but not least, Monday Night Football, Lions versus Packers. I'm going to take the Packers here. They disappointed me highly in week 1, but I expect them to be able to respond, bounce back here, and get this win in week 2 against the Lions. Aaron Rodgers, you got to play better than what you displayed, so hopefully they'll be able to get the job done here. And that's it. Those are my week 2 picks. So everything kicks off tonight, Thursday Night Football, Giants, Washington. Can't wait to see how that's going to go. But with that being said, hopefully I do better here in week 2 than I did in week 1 with my predictions. But we'll see what happens. That's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.